Last year, I showed you the Ram 1500 Bighorn Backcountry. It was even in the same color, and I thought at the time that that was a great pickup truck. Well, the good news is it gets even better. This is the 2024 Ram 1500 Limited with the night package on it. I'm James, this is Test Drive. Let's take a full tour and see everything this new Ram 1500 has to offer. So taking a look under the hood first, we have a 5.7 liter Hemi V8 engine with fuel saver MDS and e-torque. This is the upgraded engine that you can get. You can also not have the e-torque and it might save you a little bit of money, but also we have a mild hybrid system on board too that's going to save us a little bit of money. The horsepower for this is 395 and the torque is 410 pound-feet of torque. We also have a max towing capacity of 12,750. So overall, pretty good specs there. Not crazy fast, but this thing can get off the line pretty good. But there you go. There's all the specs, numbers, and everything else you need to know out of the way. Let's take a look at the exterior. All right, so up first, as usual, is the front end for the Ram 1500 Limited. So we have so much going on here. Like, as you can see, the night package kind of deletes the chrome. It's all blacked out. The Ram logo is all blacked out. We do have a front-facing camera, as well as two big towing hooks right here in the front. This thing looks, drives, and just feels like an absolute unit. And the front end is my favorite. It looks so sporty. I love this color. This burgundy color is honestly the spec that I would go with if I was to spec this out. I love, like, we have like some vents up here too. We have the 1500 Hemi e-torque symbol right there. So there's logos everywhere. It's got a kind of like a raised front roof where the hood is, or where the engine is, which just looks excellent. This thing just looks aggressive. Like, I like the look of the Bighorn, and it had a lot of the blacked out stuff, but this version, this upgraded version, looks so much better. We also have really nice daytime running LEDs, big bad headlights for the main bulbs. It's just, I am a big fan. Usually I'm not a truck guy. The Ram 1500 though usually changes that, and for a week, I'm the biggest truck guy you'll ever meet. So next up is the side profile for the Ram 1500 Limited. You can see we have the big Ram logo, pretty standard, really big rims, and I am on winter tires in case you're wondering, as well as part of the night package, we get those blacked out stuff. Black accents literally everywhere, door handles, all that great stuff. We have the button, it's an actual button to lock and unlock the car, but you can unlock it by sliding your hand right there. We have really nice turn signal LEDs on the side mirrors, as well as the side mirrors are absolutely massive because this thing is an absolute unit and you need to see everybody. It has like one of those little sub mirrors, a little thing, so you can really see the blind spots. As well as underneath the mirror, we have a little camera because we do have 360-degree camera on this thing, which is very nice. And you'll see that the ride height is relatively low. Well, I can actually raise that to like off-road level 2, so it actually gets quite high up, which is really nice. But right now I have it in the normal / aero mode, so it's kind of quite low to the ground, but I think I could even drop it lower so that I could actually get in a little bit easier, which is just a great thing and something we didn't have with the Bighorn last year. So I'm really glad I got to test it this year. Now, not last but definitely not least, we have a little feature here called the Ram box. It says it right up here on the front, and you can see you have a little key, but also a little button that you can push and it'll open as long as the car is unlocked. As soon as you lock the car, this compartment will lock, and it's basically like added storage right above the wheel well, which gives you pretty deep storage. Actually, the Ram box has a lot of storage in it. I didn't expect to see it. I actually never even knew Ram had these things, so I'm very glad that this feature is here because it's just excellent. And there also is one on both sides, so you have a ton of storage and a ton of concealed storage and lockable storage. I think that's very important to note. It's lockable. Fantastic job from Ram there. Also, last but not least, of course, we have the little lip that's going to come down. I can open the door here, and this step is going to come down. Close it. Step is eventually going to go right back up. Give it a second, and 3, boom, there we go, and it comes right back up. Excellent side profile. There's a lot of features to look at on the exterior of this thing, so let's on to the back. There's a couple more. All right, so next up we have the back of the Ram 1500 Limited. So we have the logo right there, also the big Dodge Ram logo right there. I also like these taillights, of course, 4x4 logo. You got your trailer hitch right there. A little bit of a diffuser too on this truck, a little bit of sportiness to it. I've also left the car running so I could let you hear the exhaust at idle, because I really do think that the V8 around back sounds very good. especially when it's like I do a cold start or like a little rev, it's got a nice tune to it. Really, really solid. Wasn't expecting it because the Bighorn backcountry, although I do think we had the Hemi, it didn't sound as good out back as the Limited does. So that's something interesting to note. So now let's get to the nitty gritty here. So we have some parking sensors back here. Of course, you're huge, you're massive, so that is a blessing. We also have a camera back up there for the bed. We also have a backup camera right here, and this is cool. I've never experienced a truck with this. So there's two ways to open the tailgate here. So I can push down, there's a little button, and it will open like this, right? So if I just need partial storage to the back here, then I can have that. But say I need even more storage, maybe I got something bigger, I just want to slide it in there. Okay, boom, I can have this fully open. We'll include some B-roll shots of what that actually looks like, and you could just slide stuff right in here. And usually this tailgate is in your way when you're trying to slide stuff. So if you want to get directly back in there, it also is really easy at this point for me to hop up in there without this cover, which is also leather, very nice. It folds back, as well as we'll include some B-roll what that looks like when it's all folded back. Very nice, very cool design. And to close it, this side goes in first, then this side, no problem. Now the second way to open it is of course the standard way. It's not automatic, which is interesting because you think that the Limited trim, $108,000, they'd allow, like it kind of just falls on its own. That's not automatic, that just happens. But you think they would allow you to have something automatic opening and close tailgate. I've had other trucks where that does happen, and so I know it's possible, and for 108K, I would have liked to see it, but unfortunately, at least we can open it two different ways. That's awesome. So there you go. There's the exterior tour of the Ram 1500. Let's hop inside because there's even more to see. All right, backseat Ram 1500. Welcome everybody to my studio apartment. Yeah, there's literally that much room. So look how easy it is to get in, step on the step, close the door, and I have room for years. I could live here, probably, and I'm sure, and honestly, I'm not surprised if some people actually do, because it's so comfortable. It's so easy here. I have a ton of legroom. I could probably fit another person's legroom on top of my legroom. That's how much legroom I have. I have these little hooks too for some coats and stuff. I got speakers right behind my head. I got a panoramic sunroof. I've got space, and oh my God, the space is just, and also, forget space, the comfort is also really good. These leather seats are really good. It's really good looking in here. I like the, the southern look to it. It's got kind of this nice pattern to it. It looks really cool. I've got vents back here. I've got heated and ventilated seats. Ventilated seats in the rear, not something I was expecting. Very cool. Kind of makes it worth the price point, right? And I also have got cup holders. I got two cup holders in the front. I've got cup holders right here, as well as some storage if you don't have a third person in the middle. If you do, well, you're gonna have to sit that third person down. But the third seat, the middle seat, is an actual seat, which is incredible. It's not like one of those half things. You don't have anything in your way. It's so comfortable to sit back here. I could do a road trip, cross country, wherever we're going. Let me sit back here and put my feet out just like this, and I'll have no problem. Really, really, really good space in the Ram 1500. But honestly, I was expecting it. This is a really big car. All right, now front end, driver's seat, business end, Ram 1500. There's a whole bunch of stuff to go over in here, so stick with me. But again, this nice little step up here. I even have this nice grab handle that's leather wrapped. Very nice, These are things that I missed in the Bighorn backcountry. Not to say that you need them, but the step, the convenience stuff, the nice materials, they're in the Limited. And the Limited, sky's the limit. They put everything they could in here. I don't really feel like anything's missing. So let's get started. Big boy steering wheel, because of course we need that. Big boy car, blacked out Dodge Ram logo. I love that. We have our media controls right here on the back. So then we have our phone controls on the front, as well as our adaptive cruise controls here as well. Left-hand side, I have my light controls as well as the illumination controls. And just like on the Bighorn, I have the ability to push my pedals further down into the wheel well or bring them up depending on what you want. I love that. Ram's the only car company that's doing that. And I feel like more car companies can maybe benefit with pedal adjustment, because that's really, really unique and really cool. I also have power adjusted seats. So does my passenger. I've got two memory seats. The passenger does not, but that's fine. I have a Harman Kardon sound system, which is very, very good. Usually Harman Kardon, I'm always, it really depends on the car and stuff, but in this Ram, this Harman Kardon sound system is very good. Now, next up, I have a digital gauge cluster, fully digital and very, very customizable. There are so many screens and different things that you can put up and different things. I end up half the week I had one screen and then half the week I had the other, just to try it all. And I don't even think I'm getting to it all with a week. A week is just not enough time to fully explore and use this Ram 1500, but that's all we have, so that's all I'm able to talk about. I really like this like leather stitching, this black with the white leather stitching. It's very, very clean in here. We have like these nice pattern designs, really nice. Moving on to our iPad looking infotainment display. We got Amazon Alexa in here. Not a ton of physical buttons, but some, which I'll take, right? So I can control like the temperature by the buttons and the fan speed by the buttons, and whether or not I have my front or rear defrost on, AC on, all that stuff. All that's right on the buttons. I can control that, no problem. But if I want to control like heated seats, heated steering, which we do have, as well as ventilated seats. So I click this comfort button and I can pretty much see everything that's going on up front. The passengers have their own controls back there, so that is really good. The passengers also have some USB-C and USB-A, just like myself. But back to the infotainment, I've got like a whole bunch of different settings, and there's just so much in here. I've got a good navigation system that also populates in my gauge cluster, which is very nice. We have wired Apple CarPlay, wired Android Auto, as well as wireless, so that's great, but I stick with the wired. I like it better. There's less lag. There's a whole other video that we could do on this. And as well, like I'm noticing there's like a little storage cubby as well as like a little battery charger right on top of this. And I have my lane keep assist button and my parking assist button on or off. And I have like this nice open wood trim. That's kind of the theme. Like right on my door here too, there's a nice open wood trim around here. Very nice. We drop a little bit lower. I have some like auxiliary switches for like my tow haul modes, also my parking sensors on or off. And I can also adjust my ride height from here. So I can click this button up and we'll start to rise up into the sky. I have two levels of off-road driving, so this thing can really get high, like I said in the exterior tour. Drop a little bit lower than that, I have my my dial that's pretty standard on Rams. Then I have my transfer case. I have 4-wheel drive auto, 4-wheel drive high, 2-wheel drive, and 4-wheel drive low, as well as the auto start stop button, the idle start stop button on and off button right here. Then we have a ton of storage. You're looking for a Ram, you want storage, you come to the right place. I've got storage here. I've got USB-C and USB normal there. I've got an aux cable there. I can pull this tray back and it's just deep. It just drops, and it's like the whole length of this thing. I've also got a wireless charger in here, something that's nice that comes with the limited edition, which is very cool. And then here on the center console, very nice leather, very nice in cushions. It has a limited symbol right there, so you know you're driving the limited, trust me. We got a little small compartment here, and if you happen to need more storage, well, it gets even deeper down in here. Crazy. Then if we move over to the passenger seat, no, I'm not done. I have another limited sign with a nice open wood trim, but I also have a button that I can press that brings up an additional little storage right in front of the passenger that's aside from the glove box space. Okay, I think we've about covered it. I'm going to talk about seat comfort, drivability, fuel economy, and all the rest of the stuff once we take it on a test drive, so let's get right to that next. All right, so on the road now with the Ram 1500 Limited Edition. Oh boy, this is a unit of a truck. It's like, I'm just so at home in these things, and it's like I have absolutely no use for them, which is the other funny thing. It's like I don't have any like really big towing needs. Like I do own jet skis, but like, you know, I live close enough to water, so like I don't really need a truck to, you know, bring them around long distances. So like I don't have a use for them, but every time I get them, I want one like so badly. And if it wasn't for the price, I might actually be considering one, because like when they come like this, like when they come luxurious like this, it's just such a nice drive. Like it's just such a nice like family cruiser, and it's so massive. I feel so safe in here. I'm big on the road. I know that everybody sees me, and it's just like I'm very comfortable in here too. Like there really isn't a lot to complain about, other than it's like, you know, it costs almost as much as like a house in some areas. Definitely not in Quebec, but in some areas you could buy a house for the price of a Ram 1500 Limited. So it's crazy. But boy, I mean, do you get your money's worth? That is the question, right? Do you get what you pay for? I have such a hard time answering that, because if the truck market is just generally expensive and people usually use these things for work and stuff like that, and this is a luxurious trim of it. I mean, the Bighorn was expensive too, but it definitely wasn't over $100,000. I guess if you look at it like luxury truck wise, we're looking at luxury truck wise, I guess the answer is yes. And if you're not utility truck wise, then maybe no, $108,000 is a lot. But if you're charging it to your company, then hey, more power to you. The Limited's awesome. All right, so let's test some power stuff. I've got it in 2-wheel drive aero mode. I want to see how this 5.0-liter V8 does. Let's go. Push it all the way. Yeah, I wasn't worried about that. It's quick. It's got, you know, this is a big thing for it to pick up and get going, right? And so I was expecting it to not be crazy fast, but man, the sound, the tune of it, the sound of the exhaust is really, really solid, like surprisingly fantastic. And you don't always expect that, right? You expect like it to be not so, you know, not so powerful. And the Bighorn wasn't very loud or anything like that, but this Ram is just loud. Like, it's nice. It's not like a TRX loud. Definitely not. Don't get me wrong. But for my standards, for like my neighborhood friendly standards, it's got pretty good noise. I'm not disappointed by it at all. So let me put it into 4-wheel drive now, still in aero mode, the fastest mode we can get. Let's give it some beams again. Oh, it's definitely much faster. Okay. I just burnt about like $50 of gas, but it's much faster than the 4-wheel. Woo! Sweet. This thing can get up and go. Hey. And even the handling is pretty good. I mean, there's like no sport mode. I guess like the 4-wheel drive is kind of your sport mode, if you will. And this thing is going to have absolutely no problems towing stuff around, hauling stuff around. Oh my god, that's the thing. It's like, I feel like the bed here is big enough that you could put stuff in and have a lot of room, but also the cab is like a studio apartment. Like, that's an exaggeration for those who are going to take me very seriously. That's an exaggeration. It's just so big. I have so much room in here, and I feel like I do really have the best of both worlds. I don't feel so much of a compromise that like something like maybe the Ranger, where I have a bigger bed but a smaller cabin, you know, it's like I don't feel compromised, and I love that. And like, I also have things like I have things like lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, and stuff like that just make this even easier to drive. Now let's talk about gas. So I've done just over 100 kilometers at this point, and I'm at a 19.1. And I think FCA Ram, they quote this at like a 12, if I'm not mistaken. Something around those lines, at 12, 14, something like that. But it's definitely, I mean, the way that we drive these cars, I'm definitely not getting 12. We do have a mild hybrid system on board, like I mentioned in the interior or in the exterior tour, but how much that's saving me, I don't know. I think it's doing something, because I'm still not really, like, I'm not even half a tank yet, so it is doing something. But 19 liters per 100 kilometers is a lot. But for a pickup, is it that much? I don't think it is. Like, I think it's right on standard. I don't think it's gone up or down in the years, right? I think it's pretty right on par with everything else in the class. So, you know, can't really complain there. I was obviously expecting it when I picked this car up that this was going to be a more expensive thing, I guess. But if you own like something like the Ram TRX, then I guess the price goes way more up than there. So, you know what, because when I'm coasting and stuff, and when I'm in 2-wheel drive, I have this little eco thing that does come up. So I feel like the engine is trying to save fuel, probably. Most likely that's what's happening. So, you know, it's just really good. And like, so next I want to touch on the ride quality and just general comfort. Like, so for whether I'm in 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive, whatever it is, and like, I feel like when I'm in aero mode, I will feel the bumps a little bit. I do have air suspension that I can kind of change on the fly. So right now I'm going to pop it up to normal ride height, and I get this like flashing little truck arrow with the arrow going up telling me that it's coming up. When you're driving, you can't actually notice the change. When you're sitting down and you're looking at a wall, you can notice the height change. So now that I'm in normal mode, it tells me that normal mode is achieved. It's a little bit better. Like, the bumps are a little bit less. And of course, when I do off-road 1 or off-road 2 modes, then it does get a little bit more like bouncy, because you could tell the suspension's kind of looking for rocks in like different terrains. So, but I think normal is the best. But like, for fuel saving, I feel like I've been trying to keep it in aero mode, and also for, you know, just a little bit more speed, I do like to drop it down. And this adjustable suspension is really, really good. Like, I like the fact that like I have a button on my key fob that I can double press, and then it just lowers the car to, you know, for me to get in while the car started. I can have that happen automatically, you know, and then you can have it go into an aero mode automatically when you reach, say, like 60 kilometers an hour. I can have the car drop into its aero mode if it's in normal mode or off-road mode, which is really nice. It just does it can do all these things automatic. Not something I was expecting to see on that, and surprisingly not even something that like the Ford F-150 Lightning had. That was, obviously it's an electric vehicle, it's hard to compare the two, but I'm just saying feature for feature, I don't think the F-150 Lightning had that, and it was more expensive. even knowing it was electric. So hey, the Ram has my heart. I'll be honest. The Ram I'll always have soft spots for Ram. After the Bighorn really surprised me. Wasn't expecting much from it. And then again with the Limited, really wasn't expecting too much. You know, I try not to look at the vehicles that much before I hop in them. I just kind of want it to be raw first impressions. Oh, look at this. But yeah, everything in here is really simple to use. The ride quality is great. The power is really good. Towing capacity is there. You don't have to get the crazy engine, and you could try to save money by not getting the e-torque and whatever you want, but I just think it's expensive, and I think a lot of you will say the same things in the comments. Usually when we do trucks, that is the #1 comment, is that it's expensive. And you're right, you're 100% right. You know, that's just how it is with the truck markets today. It costs as much as a house, but you got space galore, power galore, features galore. The Limited is the way to go. Honestly, if you have the budget, I can't recommend the Ram 1500 Limited Edition enough. I would hands down take this car. I have to drive the F-150 like normal, you know, just the normal one, not the Lightning, not the electric. I really want to try it because I want to see how the two compare actually. But right now, I'm a Ram guy. I'm a pickup truck guy this week, when usually I'm not. Again, I have no use for these things, but I absolutely love it every time I get them. So I'll go ahead and end things off there. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you like. Make sure that you go and watch another video. If you really want to help us out, our real fans, really want to help us out, go watch another video. There's so much to choose from. You might see 2 cars twice on our channel. That's because we're so many people that we want to give you different opinions. Varying opinions is very important. Like I said, I'm not going to have the same opinion on a vehicle that Niall is. It's never going to happen. We're going to have different opinions. So having different reviews, different perspectives on the PR network is fantastic to me. I wish I had that. You know, I wish I had a channel like this when I was looking for my cars, and I'm glad that to be part of one. And we're just trying to bring you like the easiest buying experience that we can. So make sure you subscribe and help us do that. The more you subscribe, the more opportunities we get. So with that said, I'll see you the next week. See you in the next car. Take care.